Welcome everyone to Fated Worlds Blades in the Dark. This will probably be, well, it's planned to be the final session, so I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to play out. How is everybody?
Pretty good.
Doing good here.
Yeah, good.
Just got this beautiful thing in the mail today.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
Is it?
Indeed. Wonderful little game called Godbound. Playing it for a while in another campaign. Solid system. I was able to pick up the physical book at a bit of a discount from the Kickstarter, so that's nice.
Cool.
What was that? Support games on Kickstarter. You
Indeed.
discovered beautiful things like Blades in the Dark. What?
Right now.
Their Kickstarter is over, but that's okay. You can still pre-order on Drive-Thru RPG.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Probably check Kickstarter more often. There's so much awesome things there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always end up hearing about them after they're over.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh yeah, Blades Kickstarter is done. Cool. Add Blades in the game is an amazing game. What was it? The Codex for Burning Wheel. Oh yeah, Kickstarter is over.
Oh man.
Yeah, that one's particularly painful since they've delivered to everybody that they've or pretty much everybody that they've promised to through the Kickstarter, but
Not to brag
Yeah.
or anything,
yes. But us poor saps who came late, it's just not available yet. I'm sure at some point soon. Well, actually, no. I guess it is
Sometimes
through
Snyder
Europe.
talk about why me and Umbra have our Burning Wheel books like right here next to our desk, but then I'm like, because the next game we'll be playing is Burning Wheel, of course we have our books right here next to our desk.
Yeah, it
yes,
makes
that's
sense.
definitely the only book I have on my desk.
I feel like
I mean, I also have Mouse Guard and 5th edition D&D books within easy reach of me right now, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel a bit ashamed because the only thing I got from Kickstarter till now was nothing roleplay like, but a kitchen knife actually.
That's cool.
I mean, it should arrive
Not
the
even
next
as
month.
practical as a kitchen knife. I got one of the One Fast Cat wheel exercise things for cats, like a hamster wheel, but for cats. My cats
Do
don't
cats
use
use
it
that?
because I'm way too lazy to train them to do it.
Huh.
Was that the Mouse Guard
That
book,
would be
or
something for my
box
dad's cat.
kit? There, Umbra? What it look like?
Masquerade
As you're
set?
just like
Yeah.
passing stuff in front of me.
Yeah. Clean up my desk at some
Like
point.
most of the other stuff I've gotten have either been role-playing games, video games, graphic novels, or actual novels. I supported one movie and I got a poster from it, but not actually ever the movie. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah. I think I've only ever backed role-playing games and like role-playing game accessories.
I mean, I've definitely spent far too much money on Reaper miniatures through their Bones Kickstarters.
Yeah, I did that once.
I did it all 3 times.
Now there's a bag of minis in my somewhere in there.
I have.
Wait, it's not on your desk?
None.
No,
They should.
they're
I
actually
just
not on my
recently
desk.
moved mine. They used to be right above my head, at least some of them, and now they're no longer quite within arm's reach, just over there. Plus, even more in the garage because I might have supported the Kickstarter all 3 times and have somewhere like 1,000 plastic miniatures now that I need to paint.
Might have.
They're especially useful when you only play online.
I mean, one of my plans is to get a setup created so that I can do a creative stream of me painting miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the first step on that is getting a camera and light set up so that I can... I've tried it actually a couple of different times, and every time something about my setup has been subpar. So I've got a
Unfortunate.
friend working on a really cool like arm thing with a camera and like multiple lights coming off of it to eliminate shadows. Which I really am looking forward to, and I think will very much help. So
Yeah, sounds fancy.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, lighting is tricky.
Together in for like $50 plus the cost of whatever camera you want to put in there, and I'm like, yes, please. He was showing me the rig that he'd set up for his girlfriend to stream, doing like physical art, traditional like watercolors and stuff.
Nice.
I am sorry, guys, but I am going to have to be online for a couple of minutes because my housemate's not having internet, so he's resetting it.
Okay.
Well,
and I can't request of him to stay without internet for like 4 hours until I finish my role-playing game. You guys can go ahead and get started. I'll just like pop out and then I'll pop back in.
But this is important. We're on the internet.
It is very important.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, we actually have a viewer, so no, it's fine.
do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I've been looking into some different games because I had this. I've been playing a bit of Tyranny over the past weeks,
User in your channel timed out.
And I've been wanting to play a role-playing game, something like that. So I've been looking into different systems for how to emulate that sort of thing, and I've been looking into some different. I've been looking into a game called Kingdom by Ben Robbins of Microscope fame and whatnot. And
I've been wanting to play that.
Yeah, and I recently picked up, I think like yesterday, I picked up a game called Hillfolk by Robin Laws. It seems to it's getting a lot of praise for its implementation and just how it adapts to different settings very well. I've been looking into playing something like that, but I've also been looking into like low-level Godbound stuff.
Ooh, people.
Welcome back.
Yes.
The land of the living.
Thank you.
Sort of.
Looks like I should refresh my Roll20 because it's still frozen.
Yeah, your camera is off on my end at least.
Yeah. Too.
Yeah, I'll
But your voice is coming through just fine, so that's the most important thing.
That's the most important part. All right. Well, let's since this is the finale and we want to send it off with a bang. Why don't we set the scene for where we were and where we are? And Farouk, very firmly in charge of the gang. Only a couple of your Alakai adepts, are in William's pocket, so to speak.
Yes, but still, he's still finds himself insanely jealous that it seems like Diania is showing Dandelion more favor.
That's true.
It's always something.
We all have our roles to play, Farouk.
All right. Next week, downtime. So we actually are starting in downtime, it seems. According to my notes here. So you had just finished a big score where you had successfully managed to broker a deal. Between some of the disenfranchised people of the floating barge community called Tangletown and demons that live on the other side of the rift that happens to be in the bottom of one of the boats that people stay away from because it's haunted. That was actually a Leviathan hunter ship that had a small curtain between this realm and another. I don't want to say the next because there's not really a hierarchy here. But and the closeness of the two dimensions is questionable at best. But you all got some heat and some coin. You guys are rich as fuck. You got your rep. And I rolled an engagement, which, if I can read my notes, will be coming up later. Yes, that is what I thought it was. Okay, brilliant. So yeah. Did that summarize where we're at, or is there anything else you wanted to add there?
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all caught up.
Okay. So who would like to do some downtime actions?
I'm really in the dark about what to do with my downtime. Like, you know, all the plans have come to a close.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much else that we need, or what do we need to do?
Maybe something
right
to
now?
do with Ixis.
Do we want to talk about our next thing, or what we're gonna do after downtime, and then plan for that?
That makes sense. Because, yeah, I could see it taking the form of something other than a normal score.
Yeah. Now that we have like a bunch of demons that are working with us, and we've sort of desecrated Tangle Down, I feel like there'll be some sort of tension.
There might be some repercussion, I don't know.
Yeah, from the people of Crow's Foot.
It
Oh,
might be
the-
fun to do our last score in a sort of inverted sense, where the reason of the score are actually external things, like them starting a war with us, or you know, something like that, and us trying to deal with the crazy shit that happened because we opened the rift into the demon world.
Yeah, I could see it being like a bit more of a defensive thing, or like a grand offense into the Crow's Foot.
Yeah, the rift is not yet fully opened, but it is a doorway, a passage, a thinning of ways, you could say.
Well, that, or we could do um or we could do some kind of cult score that with a different goal, but that also accidentally opens up the rift.
Do you have one in mind?
Anything to do with like demons, like maybe convincing an exceptionally power, or doing like a demon impregnation ritual with some exceptionally powerful demon, or anything along those lines, which will then result in us accidentally breaking the dimension between worlds, or you know, taking a lot of devil's bargains until that happens. Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, not that hard.
I mean, I could use my downtime actions to fill the doom clock pretty quick, and then gonna be good to go.
Yeah.
You're like,
And I would love to do.
My downtime
I
action
would
would be
love
fill the doom clock. How's
Yeah.
that gonna work out?
I mean,
That's a project, right?
It's like a experimenting with dangerous science kind of thing, which will fill the doom clock.
Yeah, I mean, it's a clock. I can use my downtime action on it, right?
I mean, no.
Oh,
Just because it's a clock does not mean you can use your downtime action on it. But you can
good.
do things that will advance the clock. But just because it's a clock does not mean you can use a downtime action to fill it. I don't think your characters really in character know about the existence of this clock. But if you would like to do things that accidentally fill the clock, be more than happy to listen to your suggestions.
Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of that, I thought of a downtime action that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It may or may not accidentally advance the doom clock, but I'd like to help Ixis get through the rift.
Ooh.
If
Haven't you
that-
helped Ixis enough already?
No,
I kind of like Ixis. Ixis is cool.
Fair enough.
This is cool.
And
It's
I
fair
have
enough.
a reason. Like I've got more and more reason to trust Ixis because last time when I asked Ixis not to mess with the situation, when I gave him control over my body, when he really really wanted something, which was the death of the Dracula, whatever his name was again. He
You mean
even though
Lord
the situation
Skurlock?
was high. Yes, right. Lord Skurlock. Even though the situation was very important to him, he still didn't mess up for us. So I feel like I can trust him. Whether that's true is a whole other story. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take a leap of faith.
Okay. So, I mean, set the scene. How are you doing this?
Well, I mean, first I want to know if Ixis is interested, of course.
Oh, yeah,
So,
totally.
Lan will just be sitting somewhere, eating his breakfast or sitting in a windowsill somewhere.
They are
Maybe
stupid interested.
run maybe training some of his sniper skills. And he's just like, hey Ixis, would you like to come to uh, this reality?
Yes.
Cool. What do you need to make that happen?
We were so close. In the belly of that ship, where the ritual was done. There's a place I think push through.
Do you need the help of Farouk for this?
I think you will do. And you get a weird feeling like someone just ran their hand down your cheek.
Oh dear. Lan will just in his head comment like, "Hey, that freaks me out. Don't do that again, okay?"
And you hear something that is the psychic equivalent of a mixture between laughter and a purr.
So one more question. What are you gonna do when you're here?
There's silence as a response.
Come on, give me something. Lie if you have to. Surely you owe me that if I'm gonna help get through.
Do you want to roll a persuasion here?
Certainly.
You are I feel like you're definitely trying to coerce Ixis into telling you this.
Yeah, I mean definitely.
I think it's risky. because there may be consequences here.
Sure. I'm not sure what I used to do it. I mean, the way I did it sounds like sway, but then I've never seen Lan as a person who sways. Maybe consort. I can imagine.
I'm fine
consort.
with consort. That also is applicable in this situation. I definitely agree. It's still gonna be risky though.
Do you have an interesting devil's bargain in mind, or shall I just push myself? Oh, I cannot push myself. Never mind.
I mean, that's something
Unless
you
I want
could have
another
done
trauma.
is clear your stress.
That's one way.
That's one downtime
Yeah.
action you could take. That might be helpful.
Well, I'm doing this first, apparently.
Apparently. So interesting devil's bargain.
Well, I know one possible devil's bargain. Good
Is
old
it
tick
Doom
on the
clock?
old doom clock.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like the most obvious one. Would you like a tick on the doom clock?
I would love a tick on the doom
All right,
clock.
all right. We're gonna doom clock it up.
Also, I have another idea for a devil's bargain. I don't know if you were planning this or not already, because I heard some suspicious tones in your voice. But at some point, I could take a devil's bargain that whatever Ixis needs to get to this world is not gonna be good for Lan. Him being all perennial here.
That's already true.
I had a feeling.
Could always be
Risky
worse.
Standard?
Probably.
Yeah, risky
Standard,
standard.
limited. One
Risky
extra
standard.
die. Sup. Oof. Nope. Very nope.
All right. Yikes. Let's see here. Things go badly. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you end up in a desperate position, or you lose this opportunity.
There's
what
one
happens.
thing, by
Here's
the
what
way.
happens. Ixis says, "I'll show you," and then takes control of your body and starts marching you out towards Tangletown.
You hear like Lan protesting in his own head. No, it doesn't have to go like this. Surely we can work together. Come on, like after all this time, is this what I get?
Yeah. Are you trying
downtime
to
actions to put
wheedle
stuff
your
in
way
the...
out of going?
I mean, I didn't really have to achieve anything. Like Lan is just besting, but Ixis can choose to ignore it.
I mean, yeah, Ixis is gonna ignore it unless you push the issue. Your mere
Lan
words mean nothing to me.
Lan rolls his eyes in his own head. Whatever. I was just planning on helping you anyway. You know, it doesn't matter whatever way it happens. And he just goes along with it.
Okay.
He's a little disappointed in Ixis. After all this time,
it's easier to show you.
Yeah, I imagine this is some kind of clock that I need to fill. I have an 8 clock called Ixis Plan.
Yeah. How many ticks are on that?
I have one tick.
One tick.
It might have been furthered, like, indirectly because of killing of Lord Skurlock. I don't know.
It was. And I didn't mark it on there. Give it... I would give it 4 ticks from killing Lord Skurlock.
4 total? Or
4
1 plus 4
additional, so up to 5.
4 additional.
And then
okay.
1 more from this.
Okay, so shall I roll for whether this, like, how much ticks this is, or just 1 for me letting
The 1
Skurlock do
is
it?
from the 1 consort that you just did.
Okay, I see. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Okay.
That's how we're retroactively gonna
Yeah,
implement
that
this.
makes sense. Okay.
Normally,
then I would love to reduce.
Normally, to fill a clock, you would not have. It would be a fortune roll without consequences, but because of the way you were going about it, there were consequences even during downtime. And so that's why it was at risky standard. So. Oh, Byaru. Anyway, yeah, so you still have one more downtime action left, although
Two more.
Ixis is currently in control. If you want to do a flashback to before this, when you did a
Stress relief.
yes, I'm trying to think of
I would love to. How
Indulge
do
your
I
vice
reduce
action.
stress again? I know that I do this by going after my vice, and in this case, I'm not just supplicating. I'm going after my personal vice, which is the pleasure of good food and friends. So, I feel like with all the gold we earned, I would have taken everybody out for dinner. Like I would have found like a sort of fancy place where they sell actual meat. And I would have just taken, like, the Zinged and Farouk and William, Ruby, and I would have taken them out to dinner to go, have a nice time. And I can imagine having a nice time, Shroud of the NES style would have ended up really weird anyway, but, Lan enjoys it. He knows these people.
So who goes with Lan?
Elzingdo is invited as well.
I think Elzingdo is not available right now. Zinged is.
Does Zing come as well?
Well, give him a reason to. Actually, yeah, he has an episode right now. Yeah, of course he's coming.
His reason is to go have food with his friends
Free food.
or
free
co-workers.
Good food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Yin and Ruby come as well?
I imagine they come. Yin will be a little bit socially, like, awkward. I mean, she can pretend to be nice, but actually being nice and having a good time with friends, she's never done this,
Fair.
Like she's constantly looking out, like checking what the best exit strategies are and stuff like that. But she's there, and Ruby's tremendously enjoying herself, ordering a lot of like chocolate cakes and
free
such.
food, I'm in.
Yeah.
How do you feel when Lan invites you to dinner in a fancy place?
Yes, I must leave this place. Yes, I need to get it. Yes, I will join you.
All right, Zinged is on board. Farouk, you on board? Yes, no, maybe so.
I think that it's noticeable that he's mentally debating it when asked, and then after a moment he says, "Yes, of course, very well."
And William Kildare?
Yeah, William come along. I think it might even have been William that recommended the place too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Probably. I can imagine Lan asking your, William. When you indulge vice with someone else, power. Now, does that work when you indulge vice with someone else, or when they indulge vice with you?
No, I need to indulge with him, I think.
Let's see.
Yeah. When they join in your vice, I think is the wording.
Yeah, and now who joins in your vice
when
may
you
do the
indulge
same.
in your vice.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work that way.
Okay,
I can't see you anymore, Kelso.
Yeah, you vanished, Kelsa. What would we do without you?
Turn into a big old cat.
I can still see a cat.
So what do I roll again to? Oh, never mind. There's the big indulgent face button. Okay, good. Let's use that. 3 stress. Okay.
There we go.
1, 2, 3. And I don't think I want to risk overindulging right now. I'm just gonna supplicate Daenia for. Actually, I don't know. Like, no, I'm gonna risk overindulging because Lan just not supplicate Daenia. No. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. I mean, Daenia is cool and all, and she gives nice things, but Lan is not all that into. What is this? Okay. Cool. So that would be my extra downtime action as well then.
Cool. All right, well, what about everybody else? While Lan is getting himself possessed and
Something.
wandering away, what do people want to do?
Well,
So-
oh, go ahead.
I do have strange methods, which could explain that I could indirectly working on the Doom Club while researching some demonic stuff and concoctions, devices. Strange methods is the one that gives you access to demonic, electroplasmic, magical tinkering. So I would do something in that direction if that is fine. Like, trying to open a portal to another dimension or something like that. Building a portal would be a fun thing. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if I fully understand what you're trying to do.
I'm looking for a way to go for the Doom Clock, and so I do have strange methods which lets me tinker with demonic, magical stuff, and make things work that way. So I think I would try to build a portal into another dimension.
What is making you what has inspired you to do this? And where are you trying to make it?
I mean, we have a lot to do with ghosts now, and I mean, we do have what's it called? An arrangement with ghosts right now. And we also had a lot of stuff to do with demons, and it would be nice to have a source we can get more of those to deal with or to trade with. I mean,
Okay.
also, since when did Zink need a reason?
I mean, true.
He is fucking insane.
True. So yeah, where do you go to make this? This is definitely a long-term project. And depending on how you want to do it, is gonna affect how how long the clock is and how difficult it is to do it.
So, would I be able to recognize that something is already weakening the gap between the dimension, the border? If so, I would of course try to, use that to my advantage. And
I know some of you knew that there was a weak spot between the worlds in Tangletown. I don't remember if Zingd was one of them or not. Would
Probably
you all have
not.
shared that information with him if he was not?
I mean, that was sort of the whole reason why we went there last session.
Yeah, true. That.
Okay, so yeah, you would know that.
So yes, you would have been informed at some point.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I do then, and that's probably where I want to make the portal then as well.
Okay. That's gonna be an 8 o'clock, I think.
8 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Now, describe to me what you're doing to paint a picture for me.
This is gone.
Hmm?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Going?
Yeah.
You're gone
Hugo?
from roll 20.
Yeah, it does look like my internet is having some problems.
So I'm taking some kind of car, something to transport my stuff to Tangletown, because I will need my mobile laboratory for that. And I'm saying, Victor, put this in there, put this in there, put this in there, this, and this, and I'll take care of that. And then we go there. I'll try to build a physical portal at first. After which I'll do make some alchemy and strange concoctions to make it more fitting for the task. And after that, yeah, I'm gonna try to.
Well, let's start with setting up the physical portal then.
Good.
That does remind me though. Is there like an initial reaction from Tangletown over what went down, or are they kind of reeling and we'll kind of find out later?
I mean, the initial reaction is like, whoa, this is weird. But on the other hand, basically everyone who has volunteered for this circus that you put on is now incredibly rich. Like it's not instantaneous, but over the course of a week, maybe 3, like those people who agreed to let a demon ride shotgun in them have managed to become very, very rich people. And it is starting to change the demographics of Tangletown, but it's more making them more insular instead of anything else. Like they're
What
like,
does that
okay,
mean?
we've got this money,
What?
we've got this moniker of power, and we were already neutral ground. We're gonna fight tooth and nail to keep it that way. But you guys, as the Shroud of Diania, as the bringers of that power, are either alternatively hailed as heroes or reviled.
Okay.
The way it should be.
People are very scared of you. So
Also the way it should be.
if there's no one that's going to speak out against you, and there's no one that's going to stop you.
Nice.
But you either get smiles and nods of thanks, or like I didn't see you.
Both are delightful.
Yeah.
I know. That's more or less what you were going for, and I think you got what you were looking for.
Yeah. How did they say in Black Sails? It to be feared is as good as to be loved. But if you are loved and feared, you can do things. Yeah. I would like to take a devil's bargain. I would like to put a point in Doom Clock if that's possible.
I mean, of course it is.
Yes. Okay.
And Zinged, what there we go.
That's not really good.
No, so that's 2 ticks on your portal clock, and 1 tick on your doom clock. And
if I crit the next, is it full? No, then it's 5, right?
Crits are 5, so yeah, a crit here will not fill the clock. But if you pay 1 for higher, like if you pay 1 coin for higher quality materials, that'll bring you up to 3 now, and then a crit next time will fill it.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Paying the coin. And then I'll just do it again. Take the 1 stress. Whatever.
2 stress. Push yourself.
No, I'm just doing the same thing again with the, if it's okay, with the Doom Clock.
Oh, yeah. Well, what would you be taking stress for?
Because I have a trauma and I won't indulge in my vice.
Oh, okay. Don't take the stress until you make sure that nobody else is going to give you a chance to indulge in your vice, because I think somebody has an extra. Does somebody have the extra thing? Or just Lon
I
and he already
think
used it?
I think Brad is.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I critted it.
Oh my gosh! Yeah!
RNG.
Alright, it's full.
Woo!
Critical portal
Wow.
building.
And I have a portal to
Describe
another.
this whole this is you finishing this project in the bowels of the Leviathan Hunter ship in Tangletown, and this is like the makeshift tent area where and like all of the bleachers that you had managed to put around to set up for the spectacle that you guys had done last week. um, explain to me how it's different. Like, there's no bright lights unless there are, like, before you started, there were no bright lights. It was empty and hollow, and there was just that weird feeling as you passed through the center of the chamber where you could almost but not quite feel the rift between the worlds. Tell me, like, paint me a picture. What does it look like? Like, montage zinged building this portal.
Yeah. First off, he just take us weird looking, like from like a, what's it called? Over. That a word in English?
Oval.
Yeah.
Okay.
Portal, and just some wooden stuff at first, then some strange devices and concoctions come in at some places in there, and nobody really knows what this should be until at some point there's like a thin violet layer in the middle that seems to ripple if you touch it, which I did once, and I just put it upright, and then I worked on the connection to the other dimension, and talked a bit some strange formulas, and then I throw one alchemic one small bottle of some alchemic stuff through the portal, and at some point, and then suddenly the wood just explodes, and there's a big portal without anything around it anymore, which seems to be, it's not only oval anymore, but it's 3D now in all directions.
Okay.
And it's pitch black, like eating all the light, and then starts to lighten up a little bit, and then you can see posted and whatever you want to see as the other dimension, how it looks like, you see it, but it's still very dark, and then it goes back to fade black and changes back and forth all the time, and radiates a bit of darkness, if that's possible.
Does anything
Sure.
come through?
Like zinged. Lets off that little shadow whispers. It's very, like, I feel like it's the same kind of shadow effect.
Yeah,
Like, so you
only
know
a
it's
bit
his
darker,
technology.
I guess. It's just like stronger, and I mean, it's 3 meters big now. It's not only this small. It's just grew.
Did like the tent get destroyed?
Well, I guess the part where the portal is gets eaten by the portal, but it's just around that. It doesn't.
I feel like it would be cool if it was kind of this, suddenly everywhere in Duskfall you can now see this strange glowing portal that's hanging over Tangletown, looking all ominous and creepy.
I mean, you can see that the light seems to go a bit in that direction, like it's swallowing the light. Like
Okay.
near it all seems a bit brighter. And if you look the other direction, it seems a bit darker.
Darker.
And then the moment it's there, where it's around, it's just pitch black most of the time. It seems to be glowing for a short moment when you can see through the portal, but other than that, pitch black. And as I said, it eats everything around that it touches, but it doesn't seem to eat anymore. It's just
Okay.
like a knife cut everything around it.
So if you stick your arm in, you have a problem.
Probably.
As long as you're not going through as a complete person, it might be troublesome. It might not. It depends on what you're doing. Maybe it was just the initial expansion what did this.
Who knows?
That's
Kelsa, is anything coming out of it?
Not yet. But we're going to cut over, like, we're going to pause that scene, and then we're going to cut over to, like, at the end, when everyone's done with their downtime, we're going to cut over to what Lon was doing, and you're going to see some stuff happen. Cool. So we'll just put a pin in that. So, like, you have your, like, Eureka, it works moment, and then we're going to cut over. So, Farouk, what are you doing for downtime?
Okay. So I think first, I'm going to talk to our dear departed friend Lord Skurlock, and
good luck.
Yes.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
Well, I'm gonna try. Essentially, trying to pump him for information. Hopefully enough so that I can manage to get into his place and set it afire and sacrifice it to Dionia. Because apparently I've got some.
I have an idea. I have an idea. What if Lan tell you exactly what happened? I mean, he'll tell you like, oh yeah, I killed Lord Skurlock, but he won't tell you why. He won't tell you what happened.
Okay. But it's not a matter of him.
That would really tick off Farouk. Lan was listening to him like a puppy before. Now he comes back from prison and he's suddenly all, doing his own thing.
Yeah, I'm an edgelord now.
I can kill whatever vampire I want. Can't stop me, Dad.
Yeah.
I feel that. So yeah.
I think there's just the response is just like a look in his eye. It's not like it's like, well, it's not like I can throw a fit and change the situation. Clearly, so. But I'm curious. Do you just like refuse to say, or do you actually like lie about it? And in the interest.
No. He doesn't lie. He doesn't lie. He refuses to. He refuses to tell you. He says something along the lines of, "That's not my story to tell."
Oh well, okay. That's that's even more reason to go look up Skurlock's ghost. He's like, very well. I will find another source.
So, obviously this is going to be kind of backtracking a little bit because it's been, like I said, a week or so since the events of last episode. So shortly after Skurlock's death, what do you do with the body? Is this you preventing the spirit wardens from finding and disposing of it? How much do you know about vampires?
I don't think I
like,
do
how
anything
much does
with it.
Farouk
I
know
think
about vampires? What was that?
I think that Ixis does something with it. Whatever Ixis would do with it, like destroy it horribly or keep it somewhere creepy or whatever he does.
So does he do that before Farouk gets a look at it?
I imagine he's pretty efficient, but if Farouk is fast enough, he could have got a glimpse of like Lan like dragging off the body. Maybe even the black eyes. I mean, let's say that Farouk can try.
Okay. Farouk,
If he wants.
I want to ask you, Brad, out of character,
Uh-huh.
how much does Farouk know about vampires? This is kind of a chance for you to, if you want to, tell me some stuff that's not fully detailed in the book. I've got some ideas for how I think it works, but I think it's more interesting to hear how you think it works.
Okay. So to answer the initial question, he probably does know some. Like he's definitely very steeped in occult circles, but it's not like a specialty of his. So there's probably certainly some gaps in what he knows.
Okay.
As to how I think they should work in blades, that's hard to say.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
They might have an interesting relationship, whether that is like they need it or they can't stand it with Death Essence.
Well, I mean, they if you there is some stuff in the book already.
Okay.
And vampires need life essence, more or less, to survive. But I guess the main question I want to ask you here is if they die, if they're brutally pulled apart and murdered, would you let's see here. So here's what it says about undead here. You're a spirit which animates an undead body. Your trauma is maxed out. Choose 4 trauma conditions which affect your reflect your vampiric nature. Arcane attacks are potent against you. If you suffer fatal harm or trauma, your undead spirit is overwhelmed. If you take level 4 harm, level 3 harm incapacitated until you feed enough to recover. If you suffer arcane harm while in this state, you are destroyed utterly. So, question is, did Ixis cause arcane harm to Skurlock's body before Farouk got a look at it?
He might or might not have. Like if he did, it was probably through the dagger.
Like I feel like this is a question for both of you. Like how, I feel like Ixis was wanted to make sure that happened, but there was like a lot of commotion from the death of Skurlock's body that was, I guess, actually rereading
it would be
this,
more
I don't think
interesting
there
if he
would
didn't
have
get
been
entirely
I don't think there would have been a Death Seeker Crow Bell because Skurlock was already undead.
That makes sense.
And Ixis would know that you
Really
would have
destroyed?
to deal arcane harm to destroy the body utterly, or to destroy the spirit utterly. But I don't think would have been in a position to do that damage at the time last episode. So,
I mean, I feel
get-
like it would be more interesting if he didn't, and I can
Okay.
think of reasons why he didn't. I remember him explicitly switching to claws because he was angry. And I also remember that there was people nearby and such, like you say. So, I mean, it might have been his plan, but he might have not gotten a chance.
And there's the opportunity to cause more suffering if he just leaves him as a disembodied spirit.
being able to, it would be really tricky to be able to use him as a disembodied spirit.
Well,
Because his spirit essence is now bound to this undead body in a very arcane way, like old magic kind of way. And unbinding that is a lot more complex than just killing somebody.
well, I mean, not necessarily
it's
use,
far
just like
easier to destroy his spirit than to separate it from the undead body and keep him alive as a ghost, than it would be to destroy him utterly.
Or something like
You
that.
could, you could
or
also keep him alive with level 3 harm of incapacitated and just not allow him to feed.
oh, I think Ixis would have done that. Yeah, that
Okay.
would be the most interesting. He wants to torture his old foe or whatever.
I feel like
Wants to
he
see him
brought-
suffer.
Ixis brought his body down into the bowels of the bridge where they first encountered Ixis, behind where there
Probably.
had been that rubble, and like chains him to a wall. So for
I
if you want
can-
to have
I
a
can see that.
conversation with a vampire,
yes.
that's where you go.
Some type of interview, even.
Bruh. It's fine.
Yeah, now I'm rethinking it. I'll go ahead.
Okay.
So let me see.
You look kind of green and white today.
I'm sorry.
Asa looks kind of green and white today.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern here. It's mostly triangles.
Well played, sir.
But there are some diamonds as well. I mean, it's.
User in your channel timed out.
There she goes.
We wanted to make an extended 5-minute break. What about nowish? I mean, if Asa is not here anyway.
Well, I mean, Ahasa doesn't need to be here for the interview with
Soon enough?
User entered your channel.
Sherlock.
She's returned.
She's coming back. Welcome back.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
she's
know what's
back,
going
it's
on
good.
with my internet, but apparently I'm not the only one in the house who has problems with it.
Feels bad, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So what happened? What happened? What did I miss?
Farouk is going to go down to the basement and have a chat.
Oh.
Yeah, little chat.
The body of Lord Skurlock that is currently like hanging from chains. This bottom level of the basement, sub level of the bridge that's literally under the river, and weird and drippy and strange, and like his body is like got his like guts ripped out and just hanging there loosely. Like, you're not gonna bother cleaning that up.
What? No.
Fine. So yeah, like, it's obvious that he's dead, but as you come in there, like, his hang head stirs and looks at you anyway.
My old friend. You seem like you're...
Regardless, let's take a quick pause. I want to take a step back. Can we do a quick, like, when you say my old friend, I would like to go, ooh, and do a flashback, because we established at the very beginning that you and Skurlock were enemies.
Yes.
And what I have is that your agendas conflict a lot of the time. So I just want to see a scene, just real quick, from back before the Shroud of Diania, where your agendas were conflicting and you got into a little bit of a friendly spat.
That sounds good. Yeah. So, yeah, offhand, I'm not sure of the shape of it. Certainly, especially back then, Farouk would be trying really hard to ingratiate himself into occult circles, and he probably would have been trying to throw names around from his time in Aruvia, even though he essentially is no longer welcome there. So it may be that they were sort of competing to have influence over a bunch of the same people. In almost all those cases, Skurlock totally won out. But in the specific case of, I think it's Lisette Pritchard?
Yeah.
I think that's where I think in that Farouk was with her. Farouk was successful, and it probably wasn't even a problem for Skurlock in terms of his overall plans are not much of a setback. But the fact that this little upstart caused any sort of upset, any sort of setback at all, is was probably an issue. So I mean, I would you like to do like a scene of them like talking about that, or or just that background?
Narrated by you is fine.
Okay. So this would definitely be well before uh, uh, before Farouk was welcome at the Diogenes Club. So
maybe this is like tea with Lisette Pritchard at a tea house.
Yeah, I imagine they may have like both been visiting her at the same time. With her throwing a little get together, and I could see Skurlock extolling the virtues of siding with the obvious strength of his house, and Farouk replying, "Well, yes, I'm sure there are some advantages. Yet, I note that certain disadvantages as well, such as uh, being uh, being bound or uh, feeling a bit drained. Uh, and I wouldn't want to blame my good friend Lord Skurlock for any sort of impropriety. But in the case of uh, Major Fuller, he seemed so much in the prime of his life before associations occurred, and such a shadow of himself now. It's such a shame, really. Um, but again, I wouldn't. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that both he.
User in your channel timed out.
And
Oh, no.
yeah,
There she goes again.
and Lady Amelia Reyes. She's another friend of yours, isn't she, Skurlock? I haven't seen her much lately. So, sort of like that.
Yeah. And then we can cut back to now he's tied up in your basement with his guts hanging out, and very obviously a possessed corpse as opposed to a person.
Yes. So, my old friend, it pains me to see you in such discomfort. But
User entered your channel.
Perhaps this is an opportunity to I don't know, talk about old times, or perhaps you would like to relive a few past glories. What say you?
He just glares at you with like glowing, smoking eyes, electroplasmic plasm leaking out in your sight.
Oh, my dear, that won't do. You know, perhaps it would uh, help if you had just a bit to drink uh, to just as a bracer. I'll take out a knife and like prick my pinky, and then. Oh no, no! I'm so rude. I couldn't force anything upon you. That you haven't asked.
Oh, oh, you're so cruel.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're trying to. You're definitely this is where we roll here. Um, what action do you feel like you were using there?
Uh, Good question. Like, I mean, really, he's just trying to torment him. He at this point he isn't
Right.
even.
That was kind of what I'm feeling. I feel like this is command to basically torment him into speaking up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Sounds reasonable. Uh, this seems like a controlled situation.
You don't say.
I mean, he's certainly in a position to torment him.
I think this is still risky
Okay.
because as weak as he is, you are offering some of your blood, which could therefore empower him enough to actually cause trouble here.
Okay. Yeah, although I have no intention of actually giving him any of my blood. That I should probably say, like he could like totally, he may or may not be able to see through it. There's probably a good chance. Um,
I think
but
it's still
risky.
because
That's fine.
he is still on his own as a singular person, a tier 3 gang. And you are he's definitely at your mercy. And he can't just be like, and then you're dead. But he can still mess you up.
Okay. Okay. And standard?
Yeah.
Okay. And let me see. I guess I'm gonna I definitely can't afford to push myself, and I'm not sure whether I want to take a bargain here.
I mean, I've got like 3 lined up, depending on which way you want to go.
Oh, really? Okay. What do you have in mind? Yeah, there's always
Devil's bargain number 1, you actually let him drink your blood. Devil's bargain number 2, tick on the doom clock. Devil's bargain number 3.
What's behind demon door number 3?
Yes.
I'm trying to phrase this.
A brand new car.
Diania interferes.
Well, okay. So as much as
Diania interferes.
yeah. I mean, as much fun as ticking up the doom clock is, I don't think that this I think that there'll be opportunity for that to come, and there's probably some way where this interaction could in fact cause the clock to tick. But let's just go with D&E interfering. That sounds that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. What do you know?
Got him.
Damn. That's not a crit, but that is good. So, here's how I picture this going down. You're like, you haven't even asked yet, as you're like, have your bloody pinky presented just out of his reach. And, I think what happens then is like he kind of lunges towards you on the end of his chains, and suddenly Diania is there, and like he's like vampire teeth out, like that, in Buffy how like their features change and look more whatever, totally doing that thing right now. And he like lunges towards you. He's not able to get free, but Diania is suddenly there, and she just gently caresses his face and says, "You've been a thorn in my side for far too long, Skurlock." And then like pushes him back against the wall, and just slowly starts shoveling his intestines back inside of his body while you have this conversation. And it's like just a little girl like up to the elbows in blood shoving entrails into a corpse. So he glares at you and says, "Well, Farouk, what do you need to know?"
Well, let's see. It's good to actually. Let me back up just a second, because I think Fruk would certainly acknowledge Diania before he could let himself enjoy getting him to speak up. So I think he'll prostrate himself briefly and then Great lady, you honor me with your presence. It is in doing in hopes of doing your will that I am here in the first place. And to that, old friend.
She's like humming a jaunty little tune and smiling with her shark teeth, and is like, "You already did me a great service. I've got my hands right up inside this one now."
Yeah, quite literally.
Insides up inside. Yeah, she seems to be doing her own little thing.
So, old friend, I would have been happy to let bygones be bygones, but clearly there are other matters that must be attended to. Perhaps you could tell us a bit about your holdings, your former holdings. If you are forthcoming, perhaps only they and not you will need to be sacrificed. It's possible.
I think Diania is like laughs at that, like that horrible childlike laughter, and you know, she like licks up her forearm and up her hand covered in his old stale weird vampire blood, and says, "Oh no, it's too late for that promise."
Oh well, then I think what perhaps we can promise is that once once we are satisfied that you have told all, you'll be allowed to depart. Until then,
like Diania looks at you again and is like,
not even then.
"Make promises that you can't keep."
Maybe you should offer him to.
And then she's like, "But I'll tell you where his goodies are." So you will get the information that you're looking for, but it's not coming directly from Skurlock. It's coming from Diania.
Okay.
And basically she has taken in hand Skurlock, and is going to be the one to deal with him.
Okay.
Unless you'd like to fight a goddess.
Oh no.
Certainly not Diania.
So yeah, you have the information of where his holdings are and how to get to his money, and so forth. You can't take his like noble title or any of his intangible powers, but at the very least, you can get access to his mansion, disable the traps, and take any wealth from there fairly easily.
Okay. And would it be agreeable for me to her to participate in the torture some just for kicks, or she wants them all to herself?
Yeah, yeah, you could do that. Would you like that to count as indulging in your vice?
Sure.
I
It
mean,
sounds like that kind of thing.
it sounds exactly like that kind of thing.
Does Diana tell Farouk anything about why Lan killed Skurlock, or tried to kill, either way?
I don't think that he asked her that, and she wouldn't volunteer it.
Yeah, and just the fact that she said that he had interfered in her plans would to Farouk be enough reason. So that must be why Lan did it.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Uh,
So yeah, indulge your vice.
Okay. Well, amongst the information she laid out, is there a place that is essentially undefended that it could just be set fire to uh, uh, without it being like a hassle or a whole score in and of itself?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So, uh, I think he he will indulge in the torture, for sure. Both for for vengeance, for just curiosity. He's there. He's interested in seeing how this vampiric body reacts to being cut open, and wants to see what the his organs look like, that sort of thing.
Man, getting to vivisect something yeah.
That opportunity doesn't come along every day.
About, like, who Ixis is and what his relationship is to Diania and Skurlock. Like, what's going on here?
So
Yeah.
but for the actual indulging of vice, I think it's going to be just sacrificing one of his holdings to her, and setting it up in smoke.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's that could have been better.
Wow.
So,
yep.
okay. And did that count as gathering information as well? Or what? Since we role played it out, was that just?
Yeah. I mean, that was your command that you rolled earlier. It just you succeeded
Okay.
greatly on that. It just didn't turn out like you expected it to.
Yes. Okay.
And then, did you have a third downtime action you wanted to do, or we could cut over to William?
Yeah. Let's cut it over to William, and I'll figure out what else.
Thank you
might
for
be
being
done.
so patient with us, Umbra. What is William up to?
It's fine. It's fine. Let's see. I think William, first and foremost, is going to try and clear some stress. So, I think the first scene we see with him is in the worshiping chamber, whatever we want to call it, the big theater with the birthing chair. He's just kneeling before it, and the main difference we've seen with him from from last time is that he now has now branded all up along the side of his arm, like all the way up to the shoulder in like demon contracts from last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the chamber is very dark, but we see them glowing in different colors, being the only light here. Yeah, and inside William's head, we used to hear whispers of things that these demons want to do to the people of Duskfall, like the Empire entirely. He keeps himself composed, and he hears he tries to reach out to Diana wherever she is, and wants some guidance in the days to come to see exactly what will happen, or at least how they should be going about things. Yeah, going to be praying before the chair. And I don't think he has a sacrifice with him. Like, this is just him praying his heart out. Nothing to offer but himself.
How are you offering yourself?
I don't think he's quite ready to. Maybe he is. Maybe he has just had it with his physical form, and wants to transcend. Yeah, so I think he is going to offer up his physical body.
Interesting. Interesting.
Definitely.
How does that look?
I mean, already the downtimes are getting out of hand. How about the scar later on?
So I think what we see do is William takes out that bottle of whiskey he's been carrying around and just sort of pours it out in a circle around the tower, around the chair. And then he takes out the half-filled vial of slumber essence that he used to knock out that librarian guy. He tosses it aside.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes out a dagger. He looks at it, spins it in one hand. And I think we hear like all the whispers start like chanting. Do it, do it, do it. Give in. Give up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's a clearer voice that he recognizes, or at least thinks is Diana's. And he says, I'm listening. And everything else just fades away. And
Amazing.
Wow.
Would you like to transition to a ghost playbook?
yes.
You got it.
Crazy.
Sweet. Are you indulging your vice as part of this ritual sacrifice?
I guess that new William will also have this vice technically. But I don't think.
and
Not sure
would,
if Ghost William still has the stress.
This would definitely qualify as a worthy sacrifice to Diana. So you cannot overindulge. That means that you would start with you would start with 0 drain, as you I think you start with 0 drain anyway, but
Yep. See, ghost. I'm dead. Suddenly, Monster Hearts. Switch games.
let's see. Kildare is now a ghost. Brad would be a witch. Lana's the chosen one. What would that make Zinged if we're all going Monster Hearts here?
The Madman?
Trying to think what playbook would fit.
Frankenstein or something?
I don't think there's a skin for that.
Not in the basic set, at least. There might be
Definitely not in the basic set. I don't know. There's like a bunch of other
extended
weird
thing.
ones, but So cool, you're a ghost now. Good job.
Thanks. I try.
Do you want to do anything else with your downtime?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have a chat with Rorik now that I'm
ghost
disincorporated.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's try to find the ghost playbook in the
Page 71.
71. Thank you.
Actually, I mean, it's
Crazy.
probably not going to make a difference because we're about to be done, but I will go ahead and put it into the Roll20 as well.
So, do I keep my upgrades, by the way, or do you just? I know I keep the ghost contract thing because it's a ghost thing. Do I pick new upgrades or do I?
So as a ghost, you start off with only one ghost thing, which is the
Ghost form.
Ghost form.
Yeah.
And you have to take an upgrade before you can get any others. You do, however, keep things that make sense for you to still have.
Yeah, no, I think I have. I think I have to keep the ghost contract.
Ghost contract you will keep. Yeah. I believe weaving the web would definitely fit. I don't think you'll be able to keep connected because all of your connections were alive and are not going to be okay with you being a ghost.
Yeah, makes sense.
Functioning vice, however, you'll be able to keep as well.
Yeah. Wonderful. I just put ghost form in here instead.
I mean, you don't actually have a vice anymore, so never mind. Because instead you have a need. You can have, if you somehow manage to go from being a ghost to being a vampire, you can have it back. But
okay,
it's basically non-applicable right now because you do not have a vice that you're able to indulge in. So you have it, but it does nothing. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay, cool. Ghost. Buddy's journals. Add a file. It's in the dark. Ghost. I just had this. Where did I put it? Aha! Found it. Okay.
Oh, by the way,
everybody.
My internet problem should be fixed.
Yay!
Great.
They did, like, for a while now we'd had the internet thing that was supposed to go just straight into the power in like an extra power thing, and apparently that now putting it back like into the normal power worked, so it's solved.
Yay! Cool.
Ghost form.
Ghost.
Yes. Spooks.
Perfect.
So
that happened.
Yeah, so I think how we see this happening is that all the like latent death essence that William has been like, vaping for the last week 6 months or so, just sort of flow out of like every like orifice in his body. So like out of the nose, out of the mouth, out of like all the pores, out and under the eyes, just start like spilling out, and the body just turns ghostly. So there's not much of like a physical shape left. Like there's still like Death Seeker responses and whatnot, unless we manage to get rid of that.
I mean you're dead, so the gabong.
Oh dear, we have to stop them
Normally-
from killing his ghost.
Normally there would be 3 days for your ghost to like separate from your body and manifest. But I think instead we see Diania in the ghost field, like, give you a hand and like, raise you up out of your body and says, yes, this will do quite nicely.
Anything you want, my queen.
And she smiles, her shark tooth smile.
And I guess I'm no longer haunted.
Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, you are no longer haunted.
So do I take like one of the gloom conditions instead?
No. You do not start with a gloom condition, even though even though you would have already had trauma.
Okay,
do not
cool.
start with one.
Thank you. All right, then I think I would love to have a chat with Rorik.
Yeah. What's your goal here to have this chat with Rorik?
I want to have like as in-depth a chat as I can with him about how the crows work.
Are you gathering information?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, like anything about their lair, like what the layout is, like what the power structure was, like at least when he was assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
Like who is not on Lys's good terms, for instance. That type of thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, so
picture. Yeah, like where do you find Rorik? Could be anywhere that you can imagine he might be. Where do you think it is?
See, I think we might be on the bridge. Like on the bridge over the cathedral. Like him is whole body and I'm just floating about. See, because I think we have a view from the bridge over to Crowsfoot, if I'm not misremembering what the map layout looks like. So we're probably like looking in that direction. We might even see like
Let's hold on, let me bring us all over to the map. Oop.
Yeah, so we're like on the bridge here and we're just looking in general direction at the foot.
Okay, yeah, you can see from on the bridge in that direction over the city. Totally.
Yeah, I think we also get this slightly ominous shot of the.
Can we have you guys like at the top of one of the bridge towers, like like the wind whipping around and like through your spirit body and stuff?
Yeah.
And like and like I'm taking a little bit of artistic license here, but you know how his nickname is Dandelion? What if little specks of him fly away like Dandelion?
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes, I love it.
It's perfect. All right, yeah. So you're standing there with Rorik, the top of this bridge, and it's a very anime scene. Like, how the fuck did the hull get up there? There's not even any stairs, but it doesn't matter. You're up there anyway.
Yeah, we are up here. Yeah, we have this extensive chat about like how the plan is very close to being fulfilled, like how we're going to get revenge for what happened to you, and I need to know everything.
All right, yeah. That sounds like a consort.
Yeah, I think we're just talking. Like, I think he is more than willing to share this information. It's just
Okay.
maybe like the result can be like how good the information is, something like that. That's what I'm picturing. Control. Like, it's just like
Yeah, because this is a downtime action. It would be a it would be a normally a fortune roll.
Yeah,
but you can just roll it as controlled. That's fine.
I'll just make the fortune roll. Let's see, and I'll just take the 2 dice from consort. No need to advance the doom clock just yet.
Nice. Brilliant.
Indeed.
So yeah, he's very forthcoming. You guys have a very pleasant chat that I'm gonna go ahead and skim over here.
Mm-hmm.
That we get like the cinematic cut of, and then you can come back and be like, I have the information we need, and everybody be like, oh shit, you're a ghost.
Whoa.
Yeah, you get very specific detailed information. So you want to know about the power structure, who is on Liz's shit list, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And the general layout of the place.
Yeah. So you easily get a general layout of the place, at least what it was like last time he was there. You get a list of all of the lieutenants that are still loyal to him, and or who have been on Liz's shit list in the past.
Good.
So you get a name of 3 lieutenants that he believes that you can trust. They are Zara, Milos, and the last guy's name. Sorry, I was looking at how ghosts work. Belden.
So, what was the last name? I was also looking at ghosts.
Belden. Belden is Lissa's second in command, but he is secretly loyal to Rorik.
Wonderful.
But the correct spellings?
Zara, Milos, and Belden. But yeah. Perfect.
Can we take a short break soon?
Slightly longer than normal break. It's a good time for this. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.